left foot on the brake, smash the accelerator, build up the boost, and boy, cheese and bread.
Cheers. So yes guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. As you can see, this is an Audi RS5 Coupe, not the Sportback, meaning it's the 2-door instead of the 4-door. My biggest question here is this or a BMW M4, and with power and torque, this kind of sits in between my generation and the new generation BMW M4. However, when you're getting a coupe or a sports car, you got to ask yourself a few questions. Number one, can you fit a set of golf clubs in the boot if that's your thing? Yes, you can. Can it do the school run? Just about. Is it something that you wouldn't mind taking out on a nice night out with the mates or with the wife? Yeah, 100%. So, which one? Let's go and find out. Don't know why I did that haha at the end, but haha. What's haha? Ho ho.
So, numbers wise, it's got 444 brake horsepower. It pops like a good one. 600 Newton meters of torque, which is this shove. Oh, which feels quite brutal going through this 8-speed gearbox. This car is worth £80,000, brand new, spec'd up where it is. This is the mid-spec as well, carbon black, and it's a Ascari blue paintwork, which is a great colour, if I can say. And you can really feel these turbos spool up. Get it to say third gear here, and it just pulls. It really, really does. So how hard does it launch? We've got the performance box touch ready, left foot on the brake, smash the accelerator, build up the boost, and boy, cheese and bread. Cheese and bread. Whew, I think it's quick. What did we get? 0 to 30, 1.61, and 0 to 60 in 3.67. So what do people say? Quick Google will tell you that this car, it lacks excitement and it's quite boring. But hey, some of these journalists, some of these Tom and Jerry Garfield journalists, they're just doing copycat business. One person says it's boring and everybody else has got to start off with a negative. They've got to look for a negative. It's going to write boring. What is boring about this? So let me get this straight. Let me just clear something up. For this car to be boring, it means that there mustn't be a tad bit of fun. But we've got greasy conditions here, and just being able to just power through, without thinking the rear end's gonna step on you or you're gonna understeer, because the balance of the quattro system is actually moving more to the rear than to the front, so it kind of reduces understeer. And if you are understeering on a public road anyway, you're probably going a bit too fast, my friend. You don't want your license at all. You don't like your license. But excitement, from what I can see so far, it definitely has some. It puts a smile on my face every time I drive it. I'll go out, rain, dry, 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't really get the non-excitement part. I think people, like I said, they're just being copycats. Copycats, hey? But hey, at least it makes me, like, I don't know, cause some controversy by saying the opposite. I think it's the best car in the world, personally. Come get me. Comment. Like, subscribe. Now, in terms of gearbox, compared to my generation M4, this gearbox is a hell of a lot better. On track, this could be a bit slow, but day to day, this is so smooth. If you leave it in normal comfort, you wouldn't even notice it changing gears. When you do put it in RS mode or your dynamic mode and you whack it to the left, you get full control. When you put it back, it then gets into its sporty, so it's going to shift a lot later in the RPM and allow you to do some serious kickdowns like this. And then when it changes, you get such a I don't know what the word is, but when you change, you get such a, you know, it's changing. Like, listen to this, like, let's lock it down to second gear again, and You get that nice thud to say, I've changed, I'm in the gear, let's go. I love that, I really do. I love that. I know it probably is a lot coming through the speakers, but that little confirmation of gear change through the look at my face. I love it. Look one more time. Listen, look at my face. Look. It's just like, yeah, it's brutal but nice. So now, as you're driving along, this is what people are looking at, and in my opinion, the front end looks a lot better than the current Gen M4, simply because it was quite a drastic size increase in terms of grills when they did make the new G82. However, this grill, you could make it even bigger on the new RS5 and no one would even notice, because Audi have had this design for quite some time. Bearing in mind this is the middle spec, you also get carbon fibre on the split tyre. Got carbon fibre there on the side, a little canard there, and over here we're sat on 20-inch alloys, and I think that might be why the ride is slightly harsh, because again there's not much of a sidewall there, meaning it is a bit crashy, but we'll touch on that in a bit. Moving round to the rear, now this is where I think the RS5 looks the best. Just there, LED rear lights, you've got a huge carbon fibre diffuser over here, and inside here, have a look lads, you've got real exhaust tips. So some people say that it is fake, but that actually matches and most cars are like this. Let's just break it down. You've got this big outer bit, and in there, let's go all the way in, you can see we've got our exhaust. So technically the rear end on this is banging. Briefly touching on boot space, you can see we've got a pram in there. You could probably fit another 3 or 4 bags of shopping in there. Camera bag, tripod. Boot, again, it's a coupe, so it is going to be quite deep that way. Nonetheless, it's big enough. Okay, so moving into the interior definitely does look banging, as with all Audi interiors, prestige, good quality materials, and it looks like a great place to be. Something that I have to say is that I'd much rather prefer a flat bottom steering wheel with this being an RS model, but I've noticed the last couple of RS models I've had all come with a normal size, normal shaped rather steering wheel. I'm not too sure whether it's ergonomics, but hey ho. Either way, you've got your RS button over here, which allows you to switch between 2 modes. You've got RS1 and RS2. You can individually set those to your taste, and you've also got a heated steering wheel option for those winter months. Moving to the seats, something that I've got to say is they're really comfortable and they look really nice. However, there isn't a setting to allow you to switch between 1 and 2. It's not here, it's not there. I'm not sure why Audi have done that, because in the past it's just a lot easier just to go 1 and 2. Maybe it's just not with this spec, but nonetheless, I think with the M4 you can literally switch between 1 and 2 when you want. You can kind of do it on the infotainment if you have another user set up. The user would get in the car, click his name or her name, and the seat would adjust, but I'd much prefer just to have the setting just on the seat. Looking just over here, dead center, you can see we have got massage seats. So these seats are great to be in, but if you do fancy somebody tickling your back, press that button, adjust it how you want, and just don't fall asleep at the wheel. Now in terms of rear space, you can see you're not going to be fitting any 5'11" adults in there. No one's going to want to be sitting in there with the amount of leg space, but 2 kids in the back isn't much of a problem. The seats do obviously slant downwards to give you more headspace, and you do have ISOFIX options as well. But me personally, I would not be comfortable sitting in the back in a car like this. I'd want to be right here. Now let's not be stupid. This car definitely provides some excitement. You've got the pops and bangs, you've got the all-wheel drive, but to add to that excitement, it's got the RS Sport exhaust. And if you are buying this car brand new, you'd be an absolute melon, an absolute donut, an absolute tiger head if you didn't spec that. The pops and bangs, but more importantly, listen to this. Oh! Like, from the outside, this thing flies. Not that I've given the keys for anybody to drive it, but the heads that I've turned, when I'm doing sensible speeds, of course, and there haven't been heads that have turned and given me a horrible look. They've been like, oh, thumbs up. There was a guy that used his other finger to give me the thumbs up. I don't really care about him, but... oh, man. And when you change gear, it gives you that, you know, you just know. This thing gets to 60 so quickly. And again, I do know that a lot of it is coming through the speakers, but trust me, daddy, the sport exhaust is what you want to take. Do it. Just do it. Even if it is 2,000 or 3,000 pounds, just click the button and just don't worry about the monthly payments. So now if I was gonna actually try and be a journalist and say, but there is one problem with this car, it wouldn't really be a problem, because for me to fix the problem that I have with this car, it would just be a checkbox. If I was buying this car brand new, all I would select is the dynamic ride control, which effectively means I have adaptive suspension, because this car day to day in the city, streets of London with the speed bumps, it's way too firm. Even if you try and take a bump at 10 miles an hour, it is absolutely horrible. Like literally, I think I've got a head print on this this roof based on how strong the suspension is, which is great for roads like this or for days like this. But if you are going to daily this car, you definitely want to tick a box and go for the spec above maybe and get the dynamic ride control, which is adaptive suspension. Something that, as far as I know, more M4s have than RS5s. I think nearly every M4 probably has it as standard. If you don't, you've probably bought a fake M4. But yeah, I think Coupe has to serve both purposes. It's got to be able to do day-to-day journeys, which I said it can do based on space, I don't know, efficiency. But yeah, it is a tad firm, or really firm rather. Let's not sugarcoat it, day-to-day. Tick the box, guys, tick it. Just tick it and then send it. Oh man, I could not drive my M4 the way I drive this car. On track, it'd be a totally different story, but day to day, yeah man, this car, the confidence it gives you, the compliancy, yeah man, yeah boy. And to note, don't think I'm just talking out of my I have driven obviously my own car, which is the F82 2014 version, and the new version, the G82, so I definitely know what I'm talking about to a degree. So you've owned an M4 for a while and the new shape has come out, and you ask yourself, should you be getting this instead of the new shape? Now, what I would say is, if and only if you prefer all year round performance, something that is newer, because the interior compared to the M4's interior is leap years ahead, this one. The new shape has better seats, however, in terms of daily use, these seats will be better. But the biggest question is the looks. From the front, Audi have always used this big front grille, and it's something we're used to, but the M4 is a bit hit and miss with people, and not everybody loves it, and that's just literally an opinion. If you like it, go for it, but if we're gonna say tick boxes, this ticks more boxes day to day if we had a suspension than I would say an M4 does, simply because all year round performance, same space, 8th gear. I know the new one does have it in the ZF8, but previous gen not, and this sits right in between because the new one's got 500 brake horsepower and this is 450, so it's not there with power, but it makes up with it for the grip. But other than that, would I buy this car over the new shape G82? I'm gonna leave you guys on a cliffhanger. I cannot answer it, and that's, in my opinion, a good car, because if you've got a car that allows you to make instant decisions, yeah, it's better, you're always going to be, I don't know, looking, but where it is now, I just got to leave it here. I'm just going to literally park up and leave it right here. Yeah, just leave it right here, guys. But guys, if you have enjoyed this video, please smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me just get around this corner so we can do a little send off, excuse the pun. And I'll see you in the next one. God bless. This thing's epic, man. Man, oh man. Jeez.